Welcome to Subramani. So one question which many people have been asking me, especially those who have recently retired, should we invest in mutual funds? Even assuming that they have been investing in mutual funds for a long time, they somehow feel that after they retire, they should not be taking any risk in their portfolio. This is because of the terrible communication by the mutual fund industry, which keeps on saying equity is risky, debt is not risky. This is complete nonsense. Equity is risky, debt is risky. Both are risky. Equity is risky in the short run, debt is risky in the long run. So if anybody tells you that equity is risky, please tell them that debt is also risky. This was also proven last year by one fund house by locking down your liquid money for a year plus. So I don't agree that there is more risk or less risk. It's a question of, do you understand the risk? Now when a person retires at the age of 58 or 60, he has an X amount of money. Let us talk of a person who has got, say, 30 crores. I don't see any reason why a person with 30 crores should put money in Varishta Bima Yojana and senior citizen saving schemes. It makes no sense. Yes, it makes sense to put money in senior citizen saving scheme because anyway he would be putting some money in bank fixed deposits. So why not in senior citizen saving scheme to get a slightly higher yield? But it is not the go-to product. The Pradhan Mantri Varishta Bima Yojana is not the go-to product for a guy with 30 crores. He may need to put 2 crores or 3 crores for an immediate annuity, not 15 lakhs, right? So please understand, every product is not for everybody. But this I am talking of somebody who is retiring with, say, 3 crores or 3.5 crores and has a reasonable requirement of money per month. And so I could take an example. So let me take an example of some article which I found online. So when you retire with, say, even say 1 crore or 2 crores, people somehow think that now that they have this money, they should keep only in bank deposits or Pradhan Mantri Varishta Bima Yojana, and that will give them a decent yield. Let us say they think they will get about 9% yield. So if you have kept 1 crore in 9% yield, it means you will get about 75,000 per month. Their current requirement is only about 45,000 per month, and they are thrilled to bits that, wow, I am going to get 9 lakhs per annum, and that's it, that my life is done. It is wrong on 2-3 counts. First of all, it becomes very, very tax inefficient because the whole 9 lakhs that you get from interest in bank is completely taxed at your maximum marginal rate. Assuming you have no other income, you will still end up paying some tax on this because it is more than 5 lakhs, right? And so can you do something about this? The answer is yes, it can be done. When a person has a requirement of only about, say, 30,000 per month, what is the point in earning 9 lakhs per annum, which 30,000 per month translates about 3.5 lakhs? Why earn 9 lakhs and pay tax on 9 lakhs? So therefore steps in a mutual fund. So if this person were to put money in, say, an ultra short bond fund, a combination of some other debt funds and equity funds and all in growth option, he can choose how much he will withdraw per month, right? So he is going to withdraw 30,000 per month. So again, if you go back, I've done videos on bucket theory. So he's got bucket number 1, which has got all his liquid assets like ultra short bond fund, bank FDs, your senior citizen savings scheme, all that he's got in the bucket number 1. And in bucket number 2, he's got some hybrid funds, etc. And bucket number 3, he's got equity. What happens is equity gives him growth, hybrid gives him some growth and some potential income, and bucket number 1 is from where he is withdrawing. So he is now going to withdraw from a bucket where the taxation may be there, but still he is only going to withdraw the amount that he needs. So assuming he pays only 10% capital gains tax, all he needs to invest, all he needs to do is withdraw 33,000 per annum, per month, right? So if he does a systematic withdrawal from bucket number 1 for 33,000, life is pretty decent because you will not pay tax. That is very, very good because a retired person's portfolio has to be as tax efficient as possible, and a lot of sheltered assets should lie, which should be growing, which he could withdraw after 10 years. So if he is 58 years or 59 years of age now, some of his money should be lying in equity, which would be going up and down, but you don't really care, because next 10 years expenses are lying in senior citizen savings scheme, Pradhan Mantri Varishta Bima Yojana, and other bank fixed deposits. It's lying here for 10 years. So for God's sake, don't worry about what is happening to your equity funds or even to your hybrid funds. So this is one thing. It makes the portfolio extremely tax efficient, and it is possible. You could never get very tax efficient if you had a high salary or high professional income, right? That income would anyway come. You cannot defer your income. You cannot say, oh, I have to charge you fees, but I'll bill you after 20 years. That's not going to happen. But investment income can and must be made as tax efficient as possible. So for a retired person also, making it tax efficient is useful. If his wife has got assets and his wife is paying taxes or not paying taxes, then doing a tax planning between say a 80-year-old mother, a 60-year-old son, and a 55-year-old daughter-in-law, this combination can always work, right? So because all three of you have ceased to work, all three of you are going to live off your assets. So then what should be your assets be? Where should it be? What are the bucket theories which will work for you is a complete class in itself. But yes, suffice it to say, a retired person also has to protect himself or herself against inflation. Get as tax efficient as possible and withdraw as close to the event as possible. So if you want 33,000 per month, is it necessary that you do a SWP of 33,000? No, not necessary. You withdraw 33,000 every month. 1 month you find that you've got some 10,000 rupees extra or 15,000 rupees extra lying there not doing anything. So next month you can decide to withdraw 18,000 instead of 33,000. That's an advantage. The other advantage is you can always withdraw from equity when the equity markets are booming, or once in a while you look at your equity portfolio and say, oh, it is too much, then you withdraw a little bit for your expenses or to remove and put it into bucket number 1. So all these combinations work, and it is necessary for you to stay flexible. So the fact that you have retired and you should not take risk is complete misnomer, because you have to protect yourself against inflation for the next 30 years. I'm making an assumption that you will die at 90, and my assumption could be completely wrong, right? If you live till 125, maybe you need a completely different portfolio. But I'm saying, normally assuming that a person has 1 or 2 crores of income of corpus, and he needs about 30,000-40,000 per month, this kind of a combination will work, that some money is in bucket number 1, all the other money is in bucket number 3. So when it rises above a particular level, you will sell from bucket number 3 and put into bucket number 1, or you will, during good times, keep withdrawing only from the bucket number 3, because these are good times. So you say, okay, since you're earning well and you are able to save and invest money, let us do a tax deferral and so how would I summarize what I've said so far, hopefully coherently, is to say, yes, retired people also need to invest in mutual funds because they need tax efficiency. They can postpone the taxes by doing this. They need protection against inflation, and they need to keep that money in an organized place where they have a choice. Now, if you go to an insurance plan and take a annuity plan, it will give you a fixed amount per month. Right, so take that. I'm not saying don't take that. Take also a bank fixed deposit, senior citizen savings scheme. That will also give you. But over and above that, when you need money, it is the mutual fund debt schemes to which you should go. And or if the market is booming and you need money, it's okay to take it out from bucket number 3 also. But the bucket number 1 is created so that you are not tempted to go to bucket number 3 during bad times. That's all. Thank you.